In this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure Dot1Q tunneling, or something which is called Q in Q. And the scenario is very simple. I have an ISP here which has Metro Ethernet enabled, and most of the time Q in Q is used in Metro Ethernet. And it has some switches. It's internal VLANs, and whatever it has, it is for itself. I have customers, customer red and customer blue. And as you can see, they have two branches in two different sides of the country, and they want to connect using Metro Ethernet. ISP is going to create this connection for them. Now, let's see what the actual configuration is going to be like. For ISP, internally we have trunk here and here. So these are trunk links. For customers have their own internal configuration. We don't really know how many switches they have, what VLANs they have, and we do not really care about that as ISP. Customer is going to say that this link which is connected to ISP switch is a trunk, a normal trunk actually, but for ISP this is not a trunk. This is an access link, and the access link has a mode of Dot1Q tunnel. So Dot1Q tunnel is going to be enabled here. So you see that one link has two different configurations on two different sides, and this is how we configure them. Now, something that you should know is this. Because this is an access link, this is going to have an access VLAN as well. For each customer, we configure an access VLAN here. So let's say that for customer 1, we assign number 4. For customer 2, we assign number 6. So on the other side, this is going to be VLAN 4, and this is going to be VLAN 6. But like I said, for customer, this is a trunk link. It doesn't have anything, it doesn't know anything to about this VLAN configuration of the ISP. For this, our customer might have VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40, or whatever that is there. How many VLANs they have, we don't care. Whatever VLAN configuration is, we don't really care. So let's start the configuration here. So what I'm going to do is to start the configuration from switch 1. And switch 1 here, if I just check CDP neighbor, you can see that it has a connection to switch ISP2, which is going to be a normal trunk. And it has connections to these two customers, which they are going to be in Dot1Q mode. So I just go to configuration of this link first of all, and I'm going to go with a static trunk because that is much better, and the configuration is easier. So let's go to interface G00. This is going to be in switch port mode. Switch port trunk encapsulation is going to be Dot1Q, and we are going to say switch port mode trunk. So something that is important to know is this. When you configure this link as a trunk, you should know that we are adding some tags. So the normal VLAN tag is going to be there, and we are going to add an extra VLAN tag, which is going to be creating our tunnel. So for this additional tag, we need something like 4 bytes more, and we are going to add this to MTU. So in this interface, the internal interface, I'm going to say MTU is going to be 1504 instead of 1500. So this is the most important part that you should notice. I'm going to do this on switch ISP2. So if I just type show CDP neighbor, it says that these two are connected to my switches. So I'm going to go to here and type interface range G00 to 1. And I'm going to say switch port trunk encapsulation is going to be Dot1Q, and switch port trunk switch port mode trunk. So this is this, and also MTU should be 1504 to create the configuration completely. Now the same thing on switch ISP3, so I'm going to go to here, configuration mode, and of course show CDP neighbor to see which is which interface is connected to internal switches. So I'm going to go to interface G0/1, switch port trunk, encapsulation Dot1Q, and switch port mode, of course, trunk. Also, MTU is going to be 1504. So this MTU configuration is for internal links. We do not really need any configuration like this for external link, and that's it. Now, inside switches need to have some VLANs configured for assigning to each customer. So I'm going to configure VLAN 4 and 6 for now. 4 is going to be assigned to customer 1, 6 is going to be assigned to customer 2. So that is what I really need to have on here. Of course, I need to do VLAN 4 and 6, and assuming that I am using transparent mode for BTP, that's going to be like this. So VLAN 4 and 6 and exit. Okay, so far so good. Let's configure this and then go to my customers, and I'm going to start with a normal configuration in customer switches. So here what I'm going to have is, first of all, say default interface E00 to 3, because I'm going to default interface range, of course, range. So I'm going to configure all these interfaces in default mode, and then I'm going to start configuration. So what configuration do I have here? I have some connection to the ISP switches. I'm going to put these in links into trunk mode. So Ethernet 00 is going to be trunk. Also, Ethernet 01 is connected to PC. PC is going to be in VLAN, let's say 10. I'm going to put this interface in VLAN 10. So let's go to interface 00, Ethernet 00. That's going to be in switch port mode, switch port trunk, encapsulation is going to be Dot1Q, and this is going to be a normal trunk mode. So switch port mode is going to be trunk. And interface Ethernet 0/1, of course, is going to be in VLAN 10. But before that, let's exit and create some VLANs. Let's say that I'm going to have VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 here. And interface Ethernet 0/1 is going to be switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. So this is all the configuration that I need to have on my customer. Customer doesn't have any more configuration here. So let's do the same thing on C12. So this is the second branch of company 1. So EN configure terminal and default interface range E00 to 3. And I'm going to start with interface E00, switch port trunk, encapsulation is going to be Dot1Q, and switch port mode, of course, is going to be trunk. Now that I have this, I can create the VLANs. Exit VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then exit. And also interface Ethernet 0/1 is going to be switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN is going to be 10. Something that I can configure on these switches is a management interface, but I do not really need it because I'm going to configure the PCs in specific VLAN. So I can have a management interface as well to, you know, ping the other side, but that's okay. So let's go for customer 2. Customer 2 is in customer blue, as a matter of fact. So let's do this here. Configure terminal, default interface E00 to 3. Interface range, as a matter of fact. And now that I have done this, let's start the configuration. Interface Ethernet 0/0 is going to be in trunk mode. So switch port mode, of course, is going to be trunk. And interface Ethernet 0/1. Let's first of all create the VLANs for customer 2. Let's say the customer 2 has VLAN 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. This is what we want to have here. So interface Ethernet 0/1 is going to be switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN is going to be, let's say, 30. Okay, and that's it. Let's save this. I haven't saved others as well. I have saved this. I have not saved this. And branch 2 of customer 2, which is my customer blue, is going to be configured the same as branch 1. So let's go to here in conf-t. So default interface range E00 to 3, and I just configured this because I want to make sure that all the interfaces are in their default mode. So interface Ethernet 0/0, again switch port trunk, encapsulation is going to be Dot1Q, and switch port mode trunk. With a lot of new switches, you do not really need to configure Dot1Q for the encapsulation because Dot1Q is the default. But here, I just want to make sure. Interface is, and also this. Let's just configure VLANs. VLAN 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. And interface Ethernet 0001 should be in VLAN 30. Mode access and switch port access VLAN is going to be 30. So customer side, we do not really need more configuration than this. Let's go back to ISP side. So in ISP, we have configured the internal interfaces. Now what I need to do is to configure the external interfaces facing the customers. Let's just start from G01 on switch ISP1. G01 is connected to customer 1. So if I just go to switch ISP1, I just want to go to interface G0/1. Now the configuration is interesting. Check this out. I just type switch port mode Dot1Q tunnel. So you see that there are different types for mode. Access is going to be connected to end devices. Trunk is connected to other switches. But here, because we want to have something like a Dot1Q tunnel, I need to configure this as switch port mode and hit enter. And then instead of configuring anything else, I need to configure a VLAN number for this. So I just say switch port access VLAN 4. So this is assigned to my customer. And interface G0/2, of course, needs to have something like this. So it should be in switch port mode Dot1Q tunnel, and switch port access VLAN is going to be 6. This is what I have here. So the configuration is almost done. I just want to do some verification here, and that is going to be like show interface status, one of the configuration which I'm going to one of the verification which I'm going to have. So show interface status says that this is in trunk mode, this is connected in VLAN 4, this is connected in VLAN 6. So show interface trunk says that G00 is in trunk mode. These are the VLANs which are active for us, and that is the important verification right now here. Let's go to switch port ISP3 and do the same thing here. So I know that G00 is connected to customer 1, so it should go in VLAN 4 as a matter of fact. So I just type interface G0/0 switch port mode Dot1Q tunnel switch port access VLAN 4, and G02 is connected to customer 2, so interface G0/2 switch port mode Dot1Q tunnel switch port access VLAN 6. I have configured almost everything, and then I need to check the configuration now. So let's see, on switch, and here which I have Dot1Q, what I need to do is to check Dot1Q first. So show Dot1Q, Dot1X as a matter of fact says, but I want to have Dot1Q tunnel. So it says show Dot1X. Let's see. Doesn't have anything to check Dot1Q as a matter of fact. So let's say show interface G0/2, and let's see what the configuration says here. As a matter of fact, not this. Show G switch port. This is what we need to check. It says that the mode is tunnel, operational is tunnel, which means that it is working just fine. But there is a command that says show Dot1Q tunnel, and you can check it on this platform. As a matter of fact, I couldn't find this command. So it will show you the interfaces, the ports that are in Dot1Q tunnel mode. Now if I just type show CDP neighbor, it will give me some information about which switches or routers are my neighbor. Nothing more than that is necessary, and I can just start pinging. Now let's go to the PCs and check the configuration and see if I have some IP set here, which I don't. PC1 is connected to VLAN 10 on customer 1, and PC3. I'm going to configure these two and then try to, conduct a ping here. So they are in VLAN 10. If I just go to PC1, I'm going to configure IP. Let's say that 172.16.10.101/24, and on the other side, on PC3, I'm going to have 103 configure. So it takes some time, and after it is done, I need to make sure that this is pingable. So I try to ping PC3 from here, and the ping is for now unreachable, and I'm going to see what the problem is, or maybe it needs some time to establish everything. So wait and let's see what happens. And before that, let's do something on ISP routers as well. Some of the protocols that customers want to have between their switches, because our network is going to be an overlay network. They are not going to have any clue there is a network in between their network. So they just think that their switches are going to be connected. This means that they might want to run some configuration commands, such as, for example, CDP, STP, VTP, or something like that. I can just allow that to happen. So what I need to do is to go to switches, ISP switches as a matter of fact, and I am going to say L2 protocol tunnel. I can just give some protocols to them. Right now I do not have on this platform, like I said, this is a simulated platform, so you do not really see everything, but you can just say L2 protocol tunnel CDP, L2 protocol tunnel STP, L2 protocol tunnel VTP. So this is what you have, but here, as you can see, this is I have just global and COS, which is not very useful for me. But let's see what I have here. Show CDP neighbor. Does it say that it sees the other side? It doesn't. Let's go back to PC and see if the ping is going to work. As a matter of fact, for now it doesn't. And let's see what customer VLANs are allowed on the trunk. So interface trunk information says that all of them are allowed. Let's configure some interface VLANs here. So interface VLAN, for example, 10. That is going to be my management VLAN. So IP address is going to be 172.10. This is 172.16.10.1. And do show IP interfaces. Brief says that this is needed to no shut. So this is now up. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. On C12 interface VLAN 10 no shut, and this is going to be 2. So let's see what happens. Show IP interfaces. Brief says that this is up. See, where did I configure that? Here it says up. Let me see if I just ping. I can ping the other side. Ping 172.16.10.2, and the ping is not just working.